Welcome back to IGN Live. We're bringing you looks at all the big games from Gamescom here in Germany, and now we're going to take a look at something new from Nintendo. Nintendo obviously has some of the most beloved characters and franchises in all of gaming, but next year they're going to release something totally new, something called Splatoon.
Yes, so Splatoon is an entirely new IP from Nintendo. It's actually a completely original project. In my opinion, it's really interesting. It's a third-person shooter game in which you play as characters that can turn into squids, and they have to shoot ink to cover the ground. So it's actually a territory control game. You on the gamepad you see the map of the level that you're playing on, and your objective is to spray the entire ground with your color ink. It's an entirely different concept.
And it's always orange and blue ink, is that right? Or
no, there's different colors. Actually, in our demo we have, I think, a rotation between 5 or 6 different color schemes.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean, tell us a little bit about maybe how the gamepad works with the game itself, the players, because it is a network game as well, right?
Yes, we are showing it as an 8 players, 4 versus 4 experience, and so you have to shoot ink with your gun and cover the ground, and with the touch of a button you can turn into a squid. Squids are very fast when they swim inside their own ink. They're also invisible to the other team, so it offers a lot of tactical options. Also, as a squid, as you notice, I can jump in an arc that sometimes allows me to cross gaps. The objective here, again, is really not to shoot other characters, not to splatter them with ink. Well, that stops them from spraying their own color, but it's the more effective way is really to check the territory and try to control as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's interesting to talk about is the strategy, because technically you can kind of block and tackle, so to speak, right? Like some people can focus on just spreading the color, right?
Exactly.
Others are more focused on taking away, color.
Exactly.
But how does the attacking part work exactly, if at all?
Well, you can shoot splatter ink on other players, and if you splatter them enough, well, they will explode. You see their t-shirt popping out and their water gun on the ground, and then that character respawns at the base. And then actually something that is quite useful, especially when you respawn, but in any point of the game, is that you can see on the gamepad screen, I can see the position of all my teammates. I can tap on the touchscreen and I can immediately super jump to them. So, as I said, it's very useful when you just respawn. But again, if you let one of the opposing team slip into your base and you need to quickly defend it, then you can fly back there.
How does that work? Do you have as many super jumps as you want, or?
So you will actually probably see it right now. I tap on the gamepad screen, and my character turns into a squid and super jumps and flies directly to the position of one of my teammates.
But you have to be at the base to do that?
No, you can do that
Anyway.
at any time. I'm saying what I said is just especially useful when you just respond if you need to give help to your teammates and you need to get very quickly back into the middle of the action. That's a perfect way to do that. Also, there are other tactical options you can see here, or not, that when I become a squid, I can actually go through fences. So
are you going underneath?
Yeah, I can go underneath. Actually, I can actually go through. So those fences, if I become a squid there, I just fall through them.
Ah, that was it. Yeah, that's funny. I thought I saw you walk through it. So yeah, you can kind of squish down as a squid, right?
Exactly.
The characters are called inklings or something, or?
Exactly. The characters are called inklings, and it's they are kids that can turn into squids. So that's what we're saying for now.
I thought it made perfect sense. I don't know why you're explaining it to us. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, we just spoke about stuffed dinosaurs that throw yard balls. So abstraction is a big point for us. Fun is a big point for us. So
yeah, talk about this weapon right here.
So that's a special weapon that we have in the demo. Basically, the more ground you cover with your color, the more a gauge fills on the upper right side of the screen. When it's filled, you can click on the right stick, and you have a bazooka that has infinite paint, but for a very short amount of time. The bazooka shoots in a very different way as well. shoots in a very narrow, tall column
Yeah.
of ink. So that's especially useful when you need to defeat another player. But you can see that I can cover actually a wider part of the ground with my gun. So again, you have to use it tactically. You have to use it at the right moment, and it's fun to see our promo staff that is showing the game here.
Yep.
The first day they lose against me. After they play the game for 3 days straight, it's very hard to beat them because already they start to apply all the tricks and all the tactics that you.
Yeah, I
learn by
mean, could
playing.
we maybe get an early start on some of those tactics, actually? Like, what do you think is a good way to really lay the land? Like, should you be jumping up in the air and shooting down, or shooting it up in the air?
So, for example, something that I find, there are different situations. So something I find especially useful when your aim is defeating another player, splattering with ink, is to start shoot from basically almost directly in front of you on the ground and then go up. You can arc your paint by moving the gamepad slightly up.
Oh, yes.
And that gives you basically a safe lane that has your own ink, which you can walk on and doesn't damage you, but also goes up to the player, and so it's much harder for him to basically to defend from that. Something else that I find quite useful is always to use to have total control of the sides of the map to reach and surprise enemies. Something that I particularly like to do is paint a small splotch of ink on a wall, climb on the wall because you can climb on walls that are painted with ink.
Yeah.
And hide in the enemy base like that, so that when people come out, I pop out and I get them, not to win, just to mess around with them.
That's
You're just
really
griefing
cool.
them.
So wait, you can actually hang inside the wall. You don't always pop out. Like you can sort of hold
Yeah.
the. How do you hold the button? while you do
Basically,
that?
if a wall has your ink on it,
Yeah.
you can become a squid on the ground and you simply flow up and you go up. That allows you to reach other areas, for example.
Right.
You cannot simply stay still because of gravity. You would naturally fall down if you don't keep momentum.
Right.
But you can create different tactics. In this map, there is a tunnel that, like a side tunnel that starts from each base, and you cannot walk on it. But if you, I cannot walk on my opposing team passage. But if I spray ink on it, I can do that.
Yeah.
During a match, is there a way to tell which side's winning?
Yeah. So during the match, the only way you have to tell what's going on, like who's winning or losing, is by watching at the gamepad screen and seeing how much of the ground has been colored by your own ink, which changes in
But
real
you have
time.
to eyeball it? Like
Yeah,
you don't
Exactly.
have to
The
look-
game
you're
on
guessing.
purpose does not tell you
Okay.
exactly this team is winning by how much percent. You have to gauge yourself, and that again is part of making this game different and quite original, and giving players more unpredictability and tactical options at the same
Right.
time.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading about that. Is it Tsubasa Sakaguchi? Is that the main creator? Do you know?
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah.
One of the main people
one of the main
involved in
ones,
the
yeah,
game.
but he
it's
was-
a very young team of developers at Nintendo.
It's something like 40 people. You can read this story on IGN that are developing this game. It started off as an experiment where they were really just playing with black and white ink, and it started with blocks, and they were just kind of painting the surfaces, and it turned into this. One of the questions we had asked actually was like, oh, why aren't you just your me characters? But I thought it was a decent response, is that as they played with the mechanics, you know, it made sense that they're sort of swimming, and it gave them new ideas. Because playing with Mii's, I think, would be really cool.
Yeah, but then if they turn into squids, that's kind of weird.
Exactly, and I think they sort of face that.
That's exactly the ideas that went behind creating these new characters, starting from the gameplay. So then we need to create a new character because me and or other characters of the Nintendo universe don't naturally become squids. They are a different character.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a single-player mode and co-op? I think I read that as well.
I think Reggie feels amazing.
Yeah.
Nintendo of America announced that the team are working on a single-player mode.
Right, because they want people to be able to play it off-network as well. Again, you know, coming back Nintendo with accessibility, they always
Also,
keep that
not
in mind.
everybody wants to play online. or or if I want to bring my Wii U on vacation, maybe I don't have an internet connection.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
It's 8 players, 4 on 4.
Yeah, the way we're showing it is 4 players, 4 versus 4 right now.
Is there any character customization? Are you selecting characters at the beginning?
The demo has the characters, they look different from each other.
Okay.
But in the demo, you're basically randomly assigned a character.
Okay.
It will be the game will release in the first half of 2015. So again, also in this case, the development team is really heavy in a heavy development mode to finish the game.
Sure.
And they. I'm really curious to know what will be in the final game because I just really can't wait to see
a new product.
What other ideas they will turn out with. Also, by the way, if you look at the trailer of the game, you can see features that are not in the demo of the game. So additional weapons and additional things you can do.
I'm sure we have the trailer on IGN.
I'm sure we have a rewind theater of that trailer as well. So look for that.
Cool. Phil Beal, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. We still have more to come from Gamescom, presented to you by Dead Island 2 right after this message.